Everything was great. The sky was blue, the grass was green, the flowers were blooming, the birds chirping. It was just great. Things haven't been the same since that day.
No, it can't be. How could they do this to me? God, come on, man.
He's like a completely different person. I just don't know anymore. All of this happened because of the series finale of Game of Thrones.
My name is Ricky, and Game of Thrones ruined my life. Hey, I'm starving. Where's that pizza we ordered? God. I've watched the show for a long time, and then after season 4 or 5, it started getting bad. I kept watching it in hopes that it would improve, but season 8 came and fucked everything up. It's like the writers just gave up on the show and took a massive dump on it. And then, after the finale, I went on a huge rampage. After my little rampage, I've given up on life, basically. I don't even wear the Game of Thrones shirts anymore. I quit my job, I got kicked out of my apartment, and now I live at my friend's house where I just watch TV and eat my sorrows away.
It's just so sad to see how a show can ruin a person's life. I've been trying to help Ricky the best I can, but I don't think I can anymore. The rest is up to him. Dude, we've been sitting there for like the whole day. Don't you have class or something?
Who cares? Life is meaningless and we're all gonna die someday.
What does that have to do with anything? You're unbelievable.
People just don't understand how it feels. They took a show that I loved very dearly and turned it into trash. A big pile of trash!
Is that what he said? It's a show. Yeah, I've been mad at shows and movies before, but not to the point where I gave up on life. This is The Last Jedi all over again.
Is that what he said? Well, if only he watched Game of Thrones, then he would understand my pain.
I'm not interested in Game of Thrones, but I've watched shows where plotlines were either dropped or forgotten, or characters got little to no screen time, or little to no character development whatsoever.
Well, how would he feel if one of his favorite characters got assassinated and acted differently when they never acted that way in the beginning?
I do know how that feels. People kept talking about how Luke Skywalker's character was assassinated in The Last Jedi. They're still talking about it to this day, and it pisses me off. But we're not going to get into Star Wars right now, because we'd be here forever. The point is, he needs to move on.
Move on? Move on? How can I move on when the final episode is still ingrained in my brain? I can make a season better than Benoff and Wise.
If he thinks he can do a better job, then why doesn't he make his own version of Season 8?
Wait, he said that? You know what? He's right. Hey, is the camera still rolling? Let me tell you something. I know how the characters originally acted and how the formula of each episode was. I'm gonna make my own season, and it's gonna be better than the actual people have made it. You'll see. I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it to all of you.
Wait, he said that? Oh dear.
to 6 weeks later.
So things have been crazy these past 6 weeks. Ricky has started his production of his version of Season 8 of Game of Thrones, and honestly, I'm kind of worried about him.
Look, Casey, there needs to be less fight scenes in this season, and dragons and magic need to be rarely used, like when the show first started. That way, it'll feel super special when a fight scene occurs, or when a dragon and magic is used. Otherwise, it would feel like any other fantasy show out there.
Hey, Ricky, you've been on the phone, like, the whole day. Why not take a little break, man?
Hang on a second, Casey. No, Joe, I will not take a break. I want to make sure that this version of Season 8 is the most superior after the one that we got, which was hot garbage. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some business to attend to. Hello, Casey? Yeah, I'm back. Now, as I was saying...
He's been working so hard on this. I'm just worried that it's going to heavily affect him emotionally if it doesn't turn out the way he wanted to.
I think I'll have a talk with him to see if I can get him to stop. Otherwise, he'll be worse than he was when Game of Thrones ended.
Hey, Joe.
Oh, hey, Ricky. Come here. I want to talk to you. Look, I get that you're upset with Season 8, but this is going too far.
What do you mean?
Most people have moved on by now, but you have to go and make your own version of Season 8, which I'm not even sure how you're able to do. These things take a long time. Think about how this can affect you physically and mentally. I just don't want you going back into a deep depression if this gets backlash. I'm worried about you, man.
I appreciate your concern, but I'm gonna keep working on this.
Why, Ricky? Why? What do you have to prove?
That I could do a better season of Game of Thrones than Benioff and Wise did. Look, they're good at adapting the books, but when it comes to the original stuff, they're shit at it. I need to show the whole world that a real fan can make a better show than they did. They need to know, Joe. They need to know.
You know what? Fine. If that's what you want to do, then be my guest. But if this turns out to be shit, don't come crying to me asking why I didn't stop it.
You know what? You're right. This'll be the superior Game of Thrones the world's ever known. Mark these words, Joe. I will be known as the one who fixes Game of Thrones.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
Several months later.
Well, the day has come. I have finally finished my version of Season 8. I just need to convince HBO to air my version, and then the world will see my superior version of Game of Thrones.
Many hours later.
Okay, so after many hours of trying to get in touch with HBO, I got in touch with them and I told them about the project and they rejected it. But it's okay, I'll just upload it to YouTube.
"24 hours later."
I don't know what went wrong. I put my heart and soul into this project, and to think people are thinking negatively about it makes me... God damn it! Turn that camera off.
He hasn't stopped crying in the past 24 hours. If Ricky had just listened to me, then none of this would have ever happened. But seeing as I am his friend, I have to be the one to make things right. Hey, Ricky. Mind if I sit down? I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so.
Is that all you wanted to tell me? You just came here to rub it in my face and tell me that you're right and I should have listened to you?
No, of course not. I'm just here to check up on you and see if you're okay.
I'm sorry, Joe. I just don't know how this happened. I put so much effort into this project, and what happens? A bunch of people call it a poorly made remake. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know what to tell you, Ricky. People are just hard to please, I guess.
I just wanted to show the world that a fan could write a better story than the actual writers. I guess I was wrong. Might as well go back to being a slob and acting depressed again.
Hey, don't say that. You know, for what it's worth, you gave it a try. I think that's a good thing.
You do? Everyone else says it's terrible.
Well, the first story you write isn't going to be a masterpiece. It takes time and experience to write a good story.
It does?
Absolutely. In fact, there are plenty of writers who write crap from time to time.
But what do I do if I'm watching a show and the quality goes down?
Simple. Instead of going to a deep depression and acting like a slob, just don't watch.
But then I don't have a show to watch.
There are plenty of shows you can watch.
But what if I don't like a show?
Find a show that catches your interest. If you keep digging, you'll find something eventually.
Wow. Never really thought about that.
You don't have to watch what everyone else is watching if it doesn't catch your interest, you know.
Thanks, Joe. You really know how to cheer someone up.
That's no big deal. That's what friends are for. Just don't go overboard next time. Now what do you say we go get your life back together?
Sounds like a good idea.
Let's start by finding you a new place and getting you a job.